Everyone loves tier lists. So we're going to make a crypto tier list, S through F, and we have 43 cryptos. If your crypto is in here, you can just mention it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. This is actually taking a lot of effort. So we're going to start with F tier. Now, F tier are the cryptos that you do not want to invest in and that are pretty much dead. And we're going to start off with, unfortunately for you Hexians, we're going to start off with Hex. It's pretty much dead. Richard Hart's running away from the feds. He basically liquidated Hex to start Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain would be between D and F, if you're wondering about that. Hex is pretty much dead as a doornail. He was a scammer. It was always a Ponzi scheme, so it's pretty much dead. Next up in F tier, we have Ethereum Classic. Why? Why Ethereum Classic? It has it's basically Ethereum, but with almost no projects, and there's absolutely no purpose into it. There's absolutely no purpose to it, and it's slowly falling into oblivion. So Ethereum Classic. Next, in F tier, we have BSV. Craig Wright tried to single-handedly take down crypto. It's part of the reason it was here. No one believes he's actually Satoshi. It's also falling into oblivion. It used to be top 10, top 15. Now it's barely top 50, if even that. So yes, BSV goes in the gutter as well. After that, in F tier, we also have Neo. It was supposed to be Chinese Ethereum. Yeah, didn't happen. So that's why it's an F tier. I don't think it has too much prospects. D, we start with Flare. Flare was obsolete when it was launched. It's basically a smart contract for platforms that don't have smart contracts. But unfortunately for it, every platform that actually wants to develop already has smart contracts besides XRP, and that actually might be getting hooks soon. So Flare, not very useful. Been out for about half a year. Yeah, not much there. Loon C. There is still a developer community for the Loon C community, but it's damaged goods. It's damaged reputation and damaged brand name. Stuff like that generally does not revive. So Loon C goes into D tier. Next in this tier, we have LTC. LTC would have been higher last cycle, but as you can see, it failed the halving, and now it's going down. People just don't really care about LTC at all right now. And it used to be used for transferring small coins, but that role has been basically taken up by USDT, USDC, and various stablecoins. It is not the silver to Bitcoin's gold, so LTC belongs in D tier. Along with LTC, we have another Bitcoin fork, BCH. Despite how much Roger Ver tries to pump this up, hey, I did put it up one tier above BSV if you noticed that. Despite how much Roger Ver actually pumps it up, no one cares about BCH. Yes, it's in PayPal and all that stuff along with LTC, but that doesn't really help it all that much. No, people aren't investing in BCH. It's just being included because of legacy reasons, and I don't see much prospects for the future. See, people don't understand. Bitcoin is popular not because it's proof of work. No one actually cares about proof of work. It's only popular because it was the first coin. BCH was not the first coin, so it's not going anywhere fast. Next in line, we have Pepe. Yes, everyone's favorite green frog. I just don't think Pepe has the staying power that Shiba Inu or especially Doge does. It might have one or two more pumps left in it, and then it will die. I mean, literally the use cases we're going to make and sell t-shirts, not very convincing to me. And of course, I'm going to put Shiba Inu in here too. You know why? Because Satoshi basically just mentioned that they're not using Shiba Inu for Shibarium. They're actually using Bone, and they might be creating another coin for Shibarium gas. So what the hell is the point of Shiba Inu? I don't really know. Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense. And if it's not involved with Shibarium, it's really got no prospects or future. Plus, he did kind of hint that they lost the keys for the original Shiba Inu. I don't know if Satoshi is Raitoshi and he's just trying to pull a fast one on someone. Or has he really lost the keys? I really don't care. At this point, with all the shenanigans being pulled, I have to put Shiba Inu in a very, very low tier. It would have been higher, probably C, before all that crap came out. But since it came out, can't really put it much higher than D tier. And then we have Algorand. I know some of you might actually be pissed off because of this one, but let's be honest here. Algorand's DeFi system kind of died, and it's probably not coming back. You can't really see that logo, but that's Algorand. Probably not coming back anytime soon. It'll take a long time. I'm not really bullish on Algorand anymore. And then you have Bored Apes. This token was literally created as a reward token for BAYC holders. Don't really see much in it. Next, you have Dash. Now, you might be thinking, but that's the premier masternode token. Yeah, no one cares about masternodes anymore. It would actually fare a whole lot better if this was 2018. But unfortunately, this is not 2018. It is 2023. You're 5 years too late. Dash gets put in D tier. And then you have Axie Infinity. I don't think Axie Infinity is very good as a game. I think it's reached its peak of its popularity, and it's basically going to like die down now. And I don't think it's actually coming back because everyone was playing it for the rewards. No one was actually playing it for the game. Now you have C tier. These are getting to be kind of like investable cryptos, but still not all that great. First in here, we're going to have Mana. Other games have just overtaken Mana. It's as simple as that. The graphics suck. The gameplay is not really that good. You have Illuvium, you have IMX, you have Gala, and all those other things. Mana belongs in C tier. It's the first one. There's still some people using it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Then you have Tron, and I think Tron would be higher if it wasn't for Justin Sun, but people are still very suspicious of Justin Sun, and if they're suspicious of your founder, your coin is going to get dinged a little bit. I don't think Tron is uninvestable, and I think their DeFi system may actually be undervalued. But, we're still not sure if it's not just one giant thing in Justin Sun's basement. So that's why it actually gets put here. Then here we also have Safe Haven. I think this just mainly comes here because VeChain ecosystem basically has very little liquidity, and ecosystem coins depend on liquidity, unfortunately. And I think Safe Haven has a lot of potential. By the way, this tier list is based on potential for future profit. And that's balanced out against the risks of the coin. So Safe Haven actually gets into C because there's a large amount of potential here, but there's also a large amount of risk. So it ends up in C tier. Then we have Solana. Solana would be a lot higher if not for the fact that it has crashed 7 or 8 times. But that kind of drops it down a couple of tiers. And the whole Sam Bankman-Fried thing, obviously. And I don't think it's going to go quite as high because there's now SBF actually pumping it this time around. ICP, Internet Computer. I actually do believe ICP can actually hit maybe $100 maybe in the bull run, but it just can't hit like $700 like it debuted at. So people that are hoping for ICP, I think this is the logo for ICP. The people that are just hoping for ICP to go up to their buy-in price if they bought in early, not happening. And I don't really know about this whole Internet 3.0 thing for the future. Sounds very grand, but I'm not really sure if it's going to happen. I kind of doubt it. And then you have XLM in this tier. Now, XLM is in this tier because Ripple XRP is just better. Simple as that. Like XRP is in a higher tier. XLM is in this tier because there's something just better than it. I don't really know if XLM is actually being used. I know MoneyGram is actually using it, but they're not actually using the token. They're just using the blockchain. So as for the token itself, I don't really see the prospects for it. If I were to buy XLM, I would just buy XRP instead. Huobi token. Yeah, Huobi might be insolvent. Otherwise, this would be higher. But just the fact that it might actually be insolvent knocks it down a few pegs. Justin Sun this actually might be in D tier, but Justin Sun just tried to rescue Huobi with $200 million. Not sure how that's going. Wouldn't buy Huobi token. It's either in C or D tier. I'm going to put it in C for right now because if it wasn't for the insolvency issue, maybe, and I'm not really sure if that's true or not, but yeah, at the very bottom of C tier, maybe into D tier would be Huobi token. Now we're getting into B tier, and these are the investable coins. Not bad investments, but nothing earth-shattering. And we're going to start with XRP. Now, XRP is mainly floated up by hype, and the future prospects of the coin is mainly hype. Yes, they have some partnerships. As we've seen, those don't really affect price for any coin, and XRP is included in that. All the IMF, BIS, and all those giant bank adoption theories, they're basically garbage. I mean, we've seen that through the last 5 years. You can use the SEC lawsuit excuse for the United States. You can't use it for internationally. And none of the banks internationally have adopted them either. And the thing is, like, they do have a couple of good partnerships. They have a very dedicated community, which is why it's actually in B tier in the first place. But the fact that it doesn't have smart contracts, it has no DeFi, and I think they're still quite a ways away from actually getting those things in any kind of real sense. And the fact that you can't really generate passive income heading into the next bull run, definitely not a good look for XRP. But they do have the good partnerships, which might generate something in the future, although I don't think their use case is nearly as high as people dream it to actually be, at least their supporters. And plus, like, none of those theories that they ever come up with ever become true anyways. So XRP goes into B tier because there is a lot of hype supporting it, but it doesn't have any like of those features like locking in TVL and all that stuff to actually make it any higher than B tier. So like in terms of features, yes, it's fast and it can do cheap transactions, but so can everything else. And it doesn't really have any of the advanced features, and it's just basically riding on the hype of partnerships and the influencers. And also, like, the lawsuit's over, so there's like no like post lawsuit pump. It's been about a month. You're kind of seeing where XRP is at right now. Then we're going to go on to BNB. BNB would actually be a tier higher if it wasn't for all the legal trouble that Binance is in, but they do have like an okay in 18 jurisdictions, so they're not going to die. And I do believe CZ can make this coin revive. Plus, like, Binance buys this coin back every quarter with their profits and burns it. So yeah. A lot of the layer 2s are going to fit on this tier, and some of these like OP would be a tier higher if it wasn't for Coinbase's base. Yes, Coinbase's base actually has knocked these down a tier, believe it or not, because it's such high competition for a lot of these tokens. So along with OPT would definitely be an A if it wasn't for Coinbase's base. I'm gonna have to put Polygon and Arbitrum up here as well, because all these are threatened by Coinbase's base. There's really no way you can get around it. Polygon might be a bit better because I think it's really a layer 1, but they kind of marketed themselves as a layer 2, so they're kind of stuck in this tier as well. Then you have DOT in this tier. Just a hint, DOT's parachains like Arbitrum, not Arbitrum, DOT's parachains like A-Star and Moonbeam would actually be an A tier. I think most of the value in terms of ROI is actually in the parachains, and that's why DOT is kind of sitting in B tier. I still like DOT, but I think the ROI is going to be in the parachains. And then you have Caspa here in B tier. I know some Caspa fanatics are not going to agree with this, but I think the big pump for Caspa based on the hype is kind of over, and you need to show me smart contracts and DeFi for me to put you any higher. I still like Caspa, but I can't really put it above D tier until you show me those things. And you do have the UTXO problem in that, like, UTXO, unlike UTXO, an account-based model, may not work all that with smart contracts. So you need to show me that you've actually solved that problem for me to move you higher in there. In terms of A tier, the big ones, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are here. They're pretty stable, and there's still good profits to be made from BTC or Ethereum. I can't put them in S tier because, like, you can stake Ethereum, but, Ethereum's really expensive to use because of the gas fees, especially when things get busy. Bitcoin, there's no staking, so there's very little passive income, but they're much, much safer than other coins, and I still think their ROIs, you're still going to get like, 3, 4, 5x from them. And for a safe investment for a few years, that's still pretty good. So they're more here for the safety value because they're not going anywhere, in my opinion. Cardano would actually be in this tier as well. They do have staking. They do have DeFi. DeFi is nowhere as big as Ethereum, obviously. And I'm hoping they can move into S tier right now. But I need to see that. I actually do need to see that TVL go up in terms of dollar value. Now, that's going to be really hard because the market's dumping. But just because like Cardano's like, number 5 or 6 in market cap and their TVL's like number 20 or something on DeFi Llama, I can't really put them that much higher. We also have Hedera up here. The partnership for Hedera and the actual transactions generated by them are incredible. They just got in with FedNow via drop. But once again, their DeFi ecosystem is kind of small and they're not really decentralized. I don't know if that'll hurt it going forward. But Hedera belongs in the same tier as Cardano for the time being. APT, Aptos, I'll put in this tier as well. Some of you might think that's like over the board for Aptos, but I actually don't think it's over the board for. I don't think it's overboard for Aptos actually, and I'll tell you. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's overboard for Aptos. Because Aptos partnered with Chingiri lately, and that is the biggest social media thing in India, I believe. I actually do believe that's the biggest thing in India. Oh, I switched Algorand. This is actually Aptos up here. Algorand's actually down here. But yeah, so I got the logos wrong on that one. So like Aptos is up here because of partly because of Chingari, and partly because they actually have a partnership with Microsoft, like a real partnership with Microsoft, not one of those I use Microsoft Cloud ones. Microsoft's actually using Aptos blockchain for AI. So those things actually put Aptos up in A tier. IMX is also going to be up in A tier. This is the best coin for Metaverse, in my opinion. Gala would probably be in B tier or straddling between A and B. Gods Unchained is still pretty popular. They have a lot of people playing it, and I still think they have a lot of other games on release. So IMX goes into A tier. Near, there's a lot of developer activity for it. It's a fairly small market cap coin. I think the ecosystem's going to do great. The technology is pretty good, so I'll put it up here right now. So those are the ones in A class. Now in S class, I really only have one coin. Oh, Doge also goes into B tier. And I was thinking about putting Doge actually in A tier, but I couldn't really do it for a meme coin. I have some Doge, and I think it's by far the best meme coin. I think Elon's going to pump it sooner or later. VeChain also goes into B tier, by the way. I like VeChain a lot, but the ecosystem is just not there right now. It's too small. There's no liquidity. If Coinbase lists it and the influx of liquidity comes in, then it might go into A tier. AGIX goes into A tier. AGIX, obviously, it's because of the FOMO and the AI stuff. That's still going to be big, and I think AGIX is probably the best of the AI coins. QNT probably goes into either A or B tier. I'm going to put it in A for now, but it's a low A tier. I don't really know how big, I don't see a big community or like a big ecosystem forming out of it. It can possibly do that in the future, but it has to show me something first. But I still think there's still a lot of potential because their software is being used in banks. XDC goes into A tier. XDC, I believe, is the best of the ISO coins if you have that as a category. Fairly small market cap. I think there's going to be some TradeFi that goes through it, so there's definitely some potential there. I know some of this might surprise you, but Cosmos actually goes into S tier. Now, I got to be realistic. I don't think Cosmos has the best prospects for the bull run. I think they're pretty good, but I don't think they're like amazingly awesome. Why is it the only crypto coin I have in S tier? It's because of the 20% staking. I mean, look, guys, we are in still a sideways market right now and bear market for altcoins. The fact that you can get 20% passive staking kind of overrides a lot of these other factors. So the 20% staking, yes, it does have an ecosystem, and yes, it still has decent prospects for the next bull run. That puts it into S tier. 20%. Like Hedera might have made it into S tier if they had 6.5% staking, but it's down to like 2.3 now, which knocks it down a peg. So Cosmos, S tier, mainly because of the staking. The other two in S tier aren't actually coins, but Coinbase stock, I would put in S tier right now. They just got permission to actually have a futures exchange. And that's actually more lucrative than a spot exchange. So even if the SEC somehow wins their case against Coinbase, which I don't think they will, by the ways, Coinbase can make that up with futures trading. So just the profits and then like the explosion in the stock price, maybe even dividends, that puts Coinbase in S tier. Grayscale GBTC is also in S tier if you can afford it. That's if you can afford it, of course. There's still a discount for it. It's basically Bitcoin, but that discount's going to turn into a premium in the bull market. So you have Bitcoin, then plus some, which to me is superior to Bitcoin. Yes, there's a little bit of danger to Grayscale, but I don't really think it's really that dangerous. So there's my tier list right there for you. F, D, C, B, A, and S. I know some of you maxis are definitely not going to agree with me here, but that's just my tier list. Yes, I know some of you might be really surprised that Cosmos is an S tier, but you got to give it up for the staking. There's nothing I can say against that. 20% staking, yes, it has some inflation, but I think the inflation is only 7 or 8%. Even if it's 10% year by year, it's going to still take a while before people actually notice if it's just 10% inflation per year. And right now, that's key because none of the alts are actually going up. And if you're generating passive Cosmos, you're going to have a lot more Cosmos when it does go up. So that's why it's an S tier. And yeah, that's how I rank all these coins. Let me know what you think. Comment on where you think you should rank them. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.